Eyup, Cop, nice to see you. We're going to rank all the championship goalkeepers 1 to 24. I got a little bit of inspiration from this because Fark has come out and said that he's going to drop Meslier at weekend for his number 2, which I'm gutted about because Meslier will really keeping my hopes alive that Leeds could bottle it. Look at the level of commitment that I've gone to here. I've downloaded a picture of every keeper and made like a little image here. So you can repay me by smashing the like button, boys, and subscribe. Thank you very much. So the categories are shit. Just simple as. There's some major dogs in this division, some really crap keepers. They'll do. You're not like happiest you've ever been, but there's a couple that just fit this perfectly. You'll know exactly what I mean when they're coming. Half decent, just an alright championship keeper. Top championship keeper as well. There's a few in there. And then I've got a couple. There's more than 2, because I think everybody knows 2. There's a couple Prem standard keepers that I've got in here, so we'll get to that at end. And we'll start at the very bottom, which is Plymouth's. This is not because Plymouth are bottom at league. This isn't because the defence in front of him is absolutely horrendous. I think the majority of my thinking here is that you've gone from Michael Cooper, who is, as we'll see later on, comfortably one of the best keepers in this division, to this guy, and the fall off from Cooper to Hazard is just, or Hazard. But you might as well stick Hazard in net. And I don't know if I just can't get that out of my head. There's some very bad keepers in this division. Some mid-table League One fodder keepers in this league. And I do think he's one of them. I'm sorry to say it. It's not like I'm saying that Cooper would have kept him up. I'm not saying that. You know what? I think Cooper would have kept him up. I'm saying it. And I know we're going completely different ends at league year and what you can actually realistically have at your club. But Plymouth have dropped a major bollock by letting Cooper go for about 2 million quid. They should have just kept him and let him go for free at the end of this year. But yeah, I have got Plymouth's keeper last. Not by much though. Like I said, there's some dogs in this division. This might be surprising. West Brom don't concede loads of goals. They don't face loads of shots though, mainly. And I also don't even think that Wildsmith is the best keeper that they've got at club currently. If we're going off like Palmer, say Palmer was still here before he went to Ipswich, he's a top 5 keeper in this division easily. Very good keeper. I think Griffiths is better than Wildsmith. But I just think that the experience that Wildsmith's got and probably the name that he's got is just the reason that he's starting over him. Because I think he is shit. And no, it's not because he's a Wednesday boy. Or because he came to Barnsley and he was shit. I just do not rate him at all. I think it's a position that West Brom will be immediately looking at in summer, regardless if they somehow go up or not, even if they're in this division still. I think it's a position that they need to change immediately. I would say it is probably the weakest spot that they've got in the starting 11, and they've got a better keeper that's sat up bench that don't start from. Just based on what I've seen from him at Bristol Rovers this season, Griffiths I think is a better keeper than Wildsmith. Moving upwards though, there are more. Holy shit. Again, you're going to realise that this is not a bias for him because, again, Cooper is very, very good at Sheffield United. Beadle, again, I don't think is even Wednesday's best keeper. I think the kid that they've got, that Charles, has shown more in the bits that I've seen for, like, England's kids, an odd Wednesday game that he's played that I've seen, highlights of and stuff like that. I think he offers more than Beadle does. And he's actually Wednesday's keeper, so I don't get why you'd prioritise a loan that's shite of your own keeper that's younger, resale value, and probably better than him. My opinion on him has changed quite a bit recently. I thought at the start of this season, even though he was still dropping a clanger every now and again, I thought for the most part, he's very quick off his line. His distribution's not the worst thing I've ever seen. His positioning for some goals that have been going in their net recently. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for it, but oh my God. Ass. I think as soon as season's done for Wednesday, like mathematically they can't get in with like 3-4 games left, whatever it'll be. I think you need to start playing your young ones and put your own players on pitch because you've got nothing to play for now. Why bother playing your loans at that point when you can start developing your own players? Barnsley, obviously, our season's been wrote off for about 6 months, but we've played like 5 kids in a starting 11 last few weeks. Wednesday need to start doing that as soon as season's done and they mathematically can't get in. Start your own players because he ain't good. Next, I've only got one more that's like actually shit in this division, and I think where is it? Cardiff's keeper ain't good either. 63 goals conceded. It's most in division barring Plymouth, who are an absolute freak anyway because they're shocking. So effectively Cardiff have conceded most in division in my brain. And I know it's not all down to keeper. It's not like, you know, when someone scores a goal, ball ain't just magically floated from one end at pitch for strikers to tap it in, is it? Same as conceding. It's not just magically worked its way to a bloke having a shot free on goal, is it? You've got to look at your defence in front of you, your midfielders in front of that. And Cardiff's team as a whole, from a defensive point of view, is structured horrendously. I think the players that Cardiff have got back end at pitch are crap. I do actually think they're a half-decent side going forward, but defensively they're terrible. So he's not helped by that, and that's probably why I've not got him in bottom like 2. But that still don't make him good. Like, we're going to see much further up. There are some keepers on this list that have still got very bad defence in front of them, but pull off ridiculous amount of saves to a point that they're not going down, probably. I do not rate this bloke too highly. Don't get me wrong, much better than these three, but I don't think he's all that. It's a position that Cardiff need to strengthen on. Next, I have got... We're out of the shitters. Next, I've got coming for Oxford. Yeah, these conceded a lot of goals, same as Cardiff, and for similar reasons to Cardiff's keeper, I've not got him like at the real bottom end, because they are being peppered with shots 24/7, which you can look at two ways. They're making loads of saves, and if you get like the save stats up, Cumming is probably near top, same as Cardiff's keeper, same as Beadle, because the defence is that horrendous that they just leak so many shots through 24/7. That is not a reason for a keeper to be good, that they've got more saves in division. His save percentage is roughly like mid-table compared to other keepers in division. But I do think, like I've just said, I think it's almost easy to look better than what you are when you're a keeper playing for a crap side. I don't actually think he's that bad. Like, for most part, everything they'll do upwards, I don't think are bad keepers in this division. Like I said, they'll do. You know what I mean? It's not a position that Oxford are going to think, oh my God, we definitely need a keeper in summer. I won't think so anyway. Overwhelming quality for most of this league is better than probably what he is. I do think he's a decent keeper though, and he's a good fit for Oxford. I might change this at end. You know, as I put more in, I might change it, because I do actually quite like him. Where is he? Oh my God, he's smiling at me. I don't know why. I'm not joking. This isn't satire or a little bit. No sketch going on here. I'm not trying to be funny. He's doggers. In fact, I'm going to change this right now. I think Meslier is shit. There is nothing that I can say is actually that good about him. He saved a penalty over there against Swansea, but then dropped ball in a catching drill and they scored straight away, and then conceded from... 6-degree angle somehow at 97th minute. His errors leading to goal must be top in division. There must be. And his save percentage isn't that bad. It's like 72%. But again, the reason that his save percentage is so high is opposite to some of these other keepers down here that have got terrible defence in front of them. Leeds' defence in front of them is very good. So they'll limit the opposition to having pop shots from edge at box, relying massively on set pieces, or relying on Meslier to just pass the ball or just stand at side and let them have an open net and they score anyway. His save percentage is so high because I wish I could see like a graph where it showed where the shots against Leeds are coming from. Because I bet majority are from like edge at box or pop shots from miles away, because you can't break Leeds down, especially at their place. So his save percentage is going to be high because he's saving easy shots that I could probably save. He's terrible. He's been dropped publicly, by the way, by Fark. Fark's running his mouth a little bit too much. If I were a Leeds fan, I wouldn't be impressed with what he's saying recently. He's publicly come out and said, yeah, Meslier is ass, so we're going to drop him. And then after Swansea game, he come out and said, 100% we will be playing in the Premier League next year. He is on an ultimate jinx. He's on wind-up, Fark. But Meslier is a keeper. You know what? I've done a disservice to Oxford. The more I think about my list here, I'm going to put Cumming a bit higher. Because Jensen, Millwall's keeper, is worse than him. So I'll put him in they'll do as well. He was so good at Lincoln as well. Like, I do not know what's happened to Jensen. Look at how square his head is, by the way. Brother, another cuboid like me. This is another one where you might just look at the goals conceded in division and think, well, Millwall aren't big on conceding loads of goals. They don't leak loads of goals for fun. They've conceded 40 all year. That is in keeping with top like 8 or 9. So from a defensive side of things, Millwall are quite good. So you're probably wondering why I've got Jensen so low. Quite similar to Leeds and Meslier, really. Millwall's defence is very good anyway. Oh, they've got Tanganga. Let's just say that. Millwall's defence, Tanganga, is very good. The way that Millwall set up and like to play is very defence first, scoring goals second. It would be Neil Larris and then it's with Alex Neil. But both very similar. They're not leaving themselves open a lot of time to have loads of shots against them or be counter-attacked. It rarely has any like one-on-ones to save, do you know what I mean? They're structured very well from a defensive point of view. I just think a lot of goals that Millwall do concede, he could probably do better for. That I would say a lot of these keepers on this list would deal with better than him. So I'll have Jensen there. Next, Vigalu. And you know what? We'll put DJ Batchman in there as well. So Swansea and Watford's keepers, I feel the same way about both of these, which is that I feel sorry for him almost with the way that they're being told to play. Because the amount of goals that they concede is from being told to just play out front mat non-stop, even though blokes in front of you aren't good enough to deal with, or pitch ain't good enough, or they're not good enough to do what they want to do. There might be very good shot stoppers, but when constantly getting ball away, which is what I see on highlights 24/7. These two keepers are two of the biggest culprits for getting ball away in Championship. I do think they're both all right. Again, not positions that you'd be immediately looking to change if you're either Watford or Swansea. They are just bang average Championship keepers, and I think they'd be quite happy with that, both these clubs, to be honest. To be fair, I would maybe put Vigoro over there, but I don't want my vision on what he would like at Leyton Orient to take over, because he was a very good keeper at Leyton Orient, but the standard is obviously much lower now in League One than it is in Champ. But I do think these three, especially for Watford, Swansea and Oxford, are very good fits for the club. I do think Millwall could probably do better. But that's my they'll do's as well. So we've got rid of his shitters and we've got rid of his they'll do's. We're into half decent keepers now. These I do actually think are good. First, Gunn for Norwich. He just does the job. You know what I mean? For a club like Norwich could maybe do better than him, but he's still an half decent keeper in this division. Like, regardless of the team that he plays for, he would still probably start for every team below him. Do you know what I mean? All these lads below him, I would say better than. Doesn't do all crazy. But again, defence in front of him at Norwich, I do not rate at all. I think the defensive side of things at Norwich is definitely the weak point. They've conceded a relegation amount of goals, but I won't blame him for half of them. I feel like the defence is just crap. They've got such a top-heavy team, Norwich. Some of the best players in division are up front, Sargent and Borja Sands and players like that. And then the defence. Oh, Nardi for QPR. He's made 5th most saves in division as QPR's keeper. That's quite a lot. I know QPR are probably like 7th, 8th bottom off the top of my head. I'll put a picture up now so we know where they are. As of right now, I'm posting this on Sunday, so it'll change. But he's quite a busy bloke. Like, again, defence in front of him, laying him down a lot of time. They concede a lot of shots on target, QPR anyway. They don't get enough blocks off, like on edge at box, QPR's defence, whereas like a Preston probably would. And his save percentage isn't the best. Do you know what I mean? He's got the 16th best save percentage on this list. But with the amount of shots that they have against him, you can't stop everything. You know what I mean? It's not like an Oxford or Plymouth level amount of shots conceded, but he's still a very busy bloke. And if he had a better defence in front of him, I'd probably have him a bit higher. Like, your perception on players can change depending on who's around them, can't it? But for similar reasons, to be fair, I'm just going to fill out this half-decent category now. This lad at Derby, you're probably wondering, right, it's a picture of Petr Cech for Derby. I can't find a decent picture of the keeper, and he wears this like space helmet as well, doesn't he? So I've just got him in there. Hull's keeper, I think he's half decent as well, especially more recent weeks. Dovin at Coventry, and then finally Schmid at Portsmouth. All of these, I think, are very steady Championship keepers, all mid-table keepers, regardless of like the position of some of these teams. So you would probably say Coventry could do with a better one, maybe. Norwich could maybe do with a better one. But the rest of them, I think, are very good fits for where they are. And there's some of the better players in the teams that they've got. Really like this Schmid, though, from Pompey. They've got a steal there. It's a good player. Now then, we've got a top 9 here. It is now a top 8. I'm going to put Max O'Leary for Bristol City in a top Championship keeper first. Bristol City have conceded 42 goals at the time of me recording this. It's in line with like top 6, 7, 8-ish. Similar to like Millwall with the amount of goals that they've conceded, but I've got a big difference and a big gap in between them both. And you are probably wondering why. Like I said about Millwall, they're set up to not concede first and foremost. Bristol City aren't too different. They will play out at back more than Millwall. They will take more risks, especially with keeper, than Millwall do. They offer a lot more going forward than Millwall do. Bristol City's main focus is to try and win a game rather than not lose it, which I think is the difference between Bristol City and Millwall. And probably the reason why Bristol City might finally take that jump, get the push into playoffs, where Millwall haven't done it like ever in this league. Very similar teams in terms of the positions in the last like few years. But Bristol City, I think, are being a bit more progressive and what you'd expect from a side that is going to get in there. I really like this guy. I can't remember where he come from, Max O'Leary. I'm going to have a look now. Oh, he's come through at Bristol City. Oh, shit. Good lad. Love that. Bonus points. Good man. I'm going to say, I wonder why I can't remember him anywhere else. But yeah, I do like him. Next, so this is 8th place. I have got Freddie Woodman at Preston. I think they've actually got him now. He were on loan from Newcastle, weren't he, to start with? Maybe he went on loan here. Maybe he is on loan here. I can't remember either way. I've seen him at like Swansea, seen him at Newcastle, seen him here. And my thought is always same, that bloke is a top Championship goalkeeper. Maybe my views are flawed on it because he were at Swansea when Barnsley played him in Championship playoffs a few years ago. Look at us now, Jesus. And again, he did have Mark Gurley stood in front of him. Like, we had to get through Mark Gurley and then Freddie Woodman stood in there. He were a very solid defensive side, that Swansea team they had. But he is the bollocks, this lad. Very good. I like Preston anyway. If you watch a lot of the videos that I do, like the EFL reviews or anything like that, I'm always very, what's the word? I'm very complimentary of Preston's defence and how they like to set up. Maybe you can say, like, I'm saying one thing about one and one about other with them in, like, Millwall, for example. But just for personal preference, I really like Preston from the defensive point of view that they have, especially at home. I don't think they've lost at home since, like, start of year. They've not lost in ages at home. They might have lost twice all year. They barely concede at home. They're like a shit Burnley, Preston, a minute. Like a very shit Burnley. Next, Luton and Kaminsky. This might be surprising to some people why I've left it this long to put Kaminsky in. It's not because of what he will like at Blackburn, because we're a very good keeper at Blackburn as well. I do think he's just a solid keeper, is Kaminsky, for this division. Luton have conceded 60 goals. They're bottom 3. It's one of the highest goals against tallies in division. But the amount of shots that they concede, man, is disgraceful. The 3rd most shots against him. Why is coming so high on everything? I might change my mind on this bloke. The more I look into it, maybe Oxford have got a bloke here. They've got a serious lad. Nah, Kaminsky I really like. I'm not changing my mind. You know what though? I'm gonna put Kaminsky into like half decent now, because the more that happens, the more I just rate him, which stats that I'm seeing. Next, Patterson at Sunderland, man. Can I get him in there? Maybe slightly overrated by people that aren't Sunderland fans, which you definitely didn't think I was about to say that. You thought I was about to say that Sunderland fans overrate him. The ones that give it more stick that I see are people that watch him every week, which is Sunderland fans. I feel like people outside of Sunderland put him on a pedestal where other keepers in this league that he shouldn't be with. Don't get me wrong, he's a very good keeper still. He's quite raw because he's still young. And some attributes that I see from him, I don't see in other keepers, which are very good. Like, coming off his line, this bloke is very good. Very specific thing that I think he's better than any other keeper in this league. If a winger's got ball, like, near the touchline and he's going to drill it across your box, he is so quick off his near post to get across and stop it going across for, like, a sweaty goal. He is so fast at that. It's very niche, that, but he is the best at it. Potential-wise, he's obviously up there with one at best. And for right now, he still is one at best. I still think he's a top 6 level goalkeeper in this division easily. But there is room for improvement still. And there are much more finished articles, I think, above him at minute. Don't get me wrong, still a very good keeper. Won't surprise me if give him like a couple of years and Sunderland do quite well. He could maybe get like an England call-up or something. But again, there's a couple in here that I think are in front of him for that line as well. Next up, though, we have got Pears for Blackburn in 4th place. 5th place, even. If you look at these stats for me, Pears at Blackburn has got the 3rd highest save percentage in division, which there's quite a big drop off after the top 2, which is going to be, but he's still got the 3rd best. James Trafford and Michael Cooper have obviously got very good defences in front of him. Burnley barely have any shots against him in 1st place. Sheffield United do, but again, fairly similar to Leeds with the amount of shots that they have conceded. It's due to teams having pop shots a lot of time, because Sheffield United are very hard to break down, especially at their place at home. Or Sheffield United win majority of games anyway, and they're always in front. They barely have had many like last-minute winners or something. Sheffield United are in control for majority of game, and then more often than not, I think you'd see a lot of shots against Sheffield United being its second half, where they've just sat back trying to see a lead out. So that's when you're going to have to make a few more saves like Cooper is doing. Blackburn have had 147 shots on target against them this season. That is a lot. It's the 5th most in division, and he's got the 3rd highest save percentage. He's very consistent. And again, Blackburn ain't conceded loads and loads of goals. He's a top 7, 8-ish number. It's similar to Bristol City, similar to Millwall. But the consistency that he shows to be constantly peppered by shots, 24/7, all game, every game, and still have one of the best save percentages in division and keep the goal tally to a minimum. I think he is one of Blackburn's best players, definitely, and he easily one of the best keepers in this division. Very underrated, because whenever you get these conversations about that, oh, who is best keeper in Championship, absolutely nobody has got Pears on the lips. And then there's very limited stats to go on here from this season, because he's not been here that long. But Travers on loan from Bournemouth to Middlesbrough, very good keeper. Do you know what I mean? He's one of the top keepers in this division. It's a really big loan to get him in for Middlesbrough. And honestly, if they don't get top 6, Carrick should never work in football again. The amount of seriously quality players that Middlesbrough have got in this division, for him to still not have him like... I still think they should have pulled away with like Sunderland and been like a comfy 4th or 5th team. They've got a great side. Again, I don't think he's going to be helped from like a shots on target perspective, the amount of chances that Middlesbrough are going to give away. He might end up having some errors leading to goals because of how Carrick likes to build out front back. He wants his keeper to be heavily involved with plays. He acts like a centre-back a lot of time, keeper for Middlesbrough. So I do think you might see a couple of errors from him eventually. But as a shot stopper and distribution, this guy's one of the best keepers in the league, hands down. And finally, that's it. They're all my top Championship standard keepers. I think these 3 are Premier League goalies. I really do. Let's get the glaringly obvious one out of the way first. Johansson at Stoke is 3rd place for me. He's getting bronze medal around his neck. From being relegated last season with Rotherham, with like 100 goals conceded, and still easily being the best player by an absolute mile, I now have him as the 3rd best keeper in the league. And I still had him like top 5 last year. If he were to be in at Rotherham last year, they would have broken every record possible from a defensive point of view for having the worst backline you could ever imagine in football history. You could go down to Dog and Duck League, mate, and then you would still have a worse defensive record than any shitters in Sunday League. But because of him, they kept it somewhat respectable and weren't relegated in November. I am in the same position where Stoke obviously a better team this year than Rotherham were last year. That's because we are saying, obviously. Defensively, I think Stoke's defence isn't the worst thing ever. It's definitely like a bottom 8 standard, but I don't think it's the worst thing I've ever seen. But if it weren't for him, these would 1,000,000% be getting relegated. 100%. This is best piece of business, or second best piece of business, from any team, for any player in this division this season. Johansson from Rotherham to Stoke is top 2 easily because he's kept him in this league. Again, 5th highest save percentage in division. 5th highest, remember that. Shots on target against, top. They have the most shots on target against him all year. And he's got the 5th highest save percentage. And the goals conceded is not even that bad. They've conceded 52 goals at the time we're recording this. That's 1 more than Coventry. Coventry are in 5th. Stoke in like 18th. You put this bloke in a real side, I am telling you that they're going up. You put him in any of this like top 8 or something that isn't like a Burnley or a Sheffield United. I'll tell you, I've got it. I've cracked code. If he went to Leeds, they'd have won league already. And what were it? About £1.5 million, Johansson from Rotherham to Stoke. If Leeds had just thought, you know what, this ain't working with this Melier bloke. I know he's young and he costs us a fair wedge. But nah, this just ain't working. Get Johansson in. You're already doing this with trophy. Yeah. Because Leeds have got best everything apart from keeper. And that's why he's down here. And Stoke have got worst everything apart from keeper. And that's why he's up here. But it does come down to this. I feel like everybody, every man and his dog, is going to have Trafford and Cooper as the best 2 keepers in this division. One is not considerably better than other. A lot of the underlying stats probably do lie with Trafford. I've seen Trafford in flesh many times because they were on loan at Bolton over a year and Barnsley played him 15 times that year in playoffs, in cup, everything. And the reason that Bolton did so well was because of him. In the flesh, he is one of the best keepers that I've ever seen, and that were at Bolton. He's only got better since. He is a top keeper. Will be getting an England team in next couple of years. I think when Pickford ends up hanging his gloves up, you are looking at these 2 fighting out for number 1. But I cannot have Cooper at 2. I think that Cooper is the best goalkeeper in this division. Like I said, every single stat, every underlying stat, everything, you get letters, fruit post telling you Trafford's better. I think everything on a postage stamp will tell you that Trafford is a better keeper than Cooper. But I still think Cooper is better than him. Very marginal. Very, very marginal. But I have seen Cooper make one mistake. I think I've watched Sheffield United most out of any team in Championship this season because they constantly get put on Sky and we do watch-alongs all the time. So I've seen countless Sheffield United games. I have seen him make one error all year, and it was against Coventry the other night when they bet him 3-1 anyway, when he come out for a catch and ended up flapping a little bit. That's the only mistake I've seen him make all year. I think that's the only mistake I've seen him make ever. And I'm not saying I've got like countless ones for Trafford because I am. But if it were up to me right now and I had to pick one of these keepers for my team, I would take Michael Cooper. I think he's so composed 24/7. I don't know if it's just because he's marginally better looking than Trafford as well. Maybe that's what's swaying me. Pretty privilege. But these are definitely best 2 keepers in the league. I would just edge Cooper. Well, I don't want to. All right. I think Cooper is marginally better than him. But that is definitely my top 3. Cooper and Trafford 100% top 2. Johansson a comfy 3rd. These are all shite down at bottom. But that is my list. Championship keepers ranked 1 to 24. Thank you very much. Love you all. Kiss. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, please. It does help me out quite a lot. Thank you guys for watching again. See you later.
I say I'm a man, yes, I'm a mucker. I think of me saying as a right good looker. I say up that. Show us bit it.